What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to give my predictions and talk about expectations for today's state of play. So I wanted to do this video this morning. Obviously, we're just a mere few hours. Obviously, maybe a little bit more than a few, but the state of play is today. I am very excited. At the same time, I am keeping, I think, my expectations in check. Or obviously, that's all very subjective, right? But I do want to talk about all of that in this video. So if you guys are new here, make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed. You guys have the bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. I will be having a video directly after the state of play on this channel. It won't give a notification, so make sure you guys are checking it out, and we'll cover it tomorrow as well on both this channel and the second channel, okay? So make sure you guys are following me wherever you feel comfortable following me, but we're going to have a lot more videos on the state of play. So I do want to go over a couple predictions or a couple things that I think could be there, a couple things I think maybe won't be there, and talk again about our expectation level. Now, really quickly, I do want to address, because I know there's been this thing going on about a leak of the state of play, and that there's a person who knows somebody on Discord, and he listed 10 things. Honestly, they're not very good, these 10 things. I can read them. Destruction All-Stars Roadmap, Godfall DLC, Oddworld Soulstorm, Friday Night at Freddy's, GTA 5, PS5, Goodbye Volcano High, Among Us, Returnal, Ratchet Clank Rift Apart, ending on Hades. So, like, some of those are big, and I can see how a lot of those would go towards, individual people. Somebody else said that take this with a grain of salt. Apparently, this person likes to troll around. So, I'm personally going to kind of ignore what he said. I'm going to ignore that part altogether. Here's what we know. The state of play is going to focus on some games that we already saw in June. The state of play is going to focus on some indie games, and the state of play is going to focus on some new games we haven't seen yet. So, I hope there's a nice blend there. And actually, the way he said it, none of those games are new. None of them are brand new, like from the ground up announcement. Unless maybe Hades is it. But I'm honestly, personally, I'm expecting a brand new game. So here's what I think. I do think we're going to get Returnal. Returnal comes out April 30th. Do we need Returnal? Not necessarily. I think the people that are going to get it and are sold on it are already that way. And I'm one of them, by the way. I love the idea of it. I love Housemarque. I'm going to be getting this game day one. Yeah, it's expensive, but I'm going to be getting this game day one. I don't think it needs to be there, but yet again, that's not what this video is about, right? I do think Returnal is going to be there. Ratchet Clank, same thing. I definitely don't think we need Ratchet Clank, considering we've already seen an okay amount of it, but I do think we'll get it. It is the next big PS5 game. I mean, Returnal technically comes first and should be maybe considered the a big one, but Ratchet Clank definitely is that next AAA coming from Insomniac game. So I do think we get Ratchet Clank. I also think we get Kena Bridge of Spirits. Now, Kena fits a couple of different categories that they mentioned in the state of. I think a lot of people are forgetting Kena. Kena was shown last June. Kena is more of an indie game, and Kena is a PlayStation 5. And by the way, they said games releasing on PS5 and PS4, which is why I think Horizon, which we'll talk about next, but that's a lot of these games all fit that. Technically, Returnal and Ratchet Clank don't, but they are really big upcoming games you would expect Sony to put a lot of stock into. Okay, but I do think Kena gets shown. We thought the game was supposed to come out in March. Remember, there was a leak, or actually not even a leak. Sony said that in their ads. Remember, they did an ad for like a bunch of the games, and they had in there that Kena would come out in March. Okay, so that may be delayed. Maybe it's in April now, but it is very close no matter what. And I do think that's going to be shown at this state of play, probably gameplay, because we only have one trailer for it. And then Horizon Forbidden West. They're big. Their biggest one. God of War, no way it comes out in 2021. Now everybody's saying it. I said it day one, literally the day they announced this game. I was very confused and skeptical on it releasing in 2021. Now you have Jason Schreier, now you have Jeff Grubb, now you have all these people saying, yeah, it's not releasing in 2021. So glad everybody else caught up to what me, Alex the Prophet, thought. And by the way, I'm just kidding. People will probably take that seriously. People are kind of insane. But no, I do think we get Horizon. It's the biggest game this year. I know people want like Spider-Man stuff like that. I guess we can save that for the expectation part. Those are my 4 big ones. Some of the other games, like even like Goodbye Volcano High, I'm not really into that one, but that was again announced. I think Stray was also announced last June. Those are kind of games again that fit they were already shown back in June, which fits the criteria, and they're smaller games, which also fits the indie kind of criteria, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 2 to 3 of those games. I think we'll probably get 4 or 5 of the, and kind of exactly how I said, like if you don't even want to consider kind of being a smaller game, I think we get 4 or 5 decently sized games slash really big. I think we get 2 to 3, probably maybe even 3 or 4 indie stuff, okay? And then probably 1, max 2 new announcements. Now, that's where people are going crazy. Well, also, let's address this. A lot of people want Hogwarts Legacy. A lot of people want Gotham Knights. And I get it. I'm not saying like I don't get it. We've been through this stuff before. Hogwarts Legacy was announced at a State of Play, but it was announced in September. So, that doesn't necessarily, count it out because they didn't say anything against or for it. But Hogwarts Legacy was delayed. It's not coming out, I would say, for another full year. I really don't think this State of Play is the time. You know what I mean? Sony's not really saying it, but I do think this State of Play it's definitely a mini State of Play. This is not the State of Play that we got in June, and it's not the State of Play we got in September. Okay, really, because it's going to be a lot of stuff that we've already seen before. And that's okay. That's actually fine. That's where I think people need to settle their expectations, okay? I don't think we get Hogwarts Legacy. Gotham Knights, again, I get why people would want it, and it makes a little bit more sense because if it comes out in July or if it even comes out this summer, it doesn't even have to come out in July. Obviously, we should eventually get something. We could eventually get something. I just don't, again, know if the State of Play is the best place that it's going to be. So I would personally say no to both of those. I know there's some people that want like Spider-Man, again, the God of War thing. I don't think Spider-Man 2 is being announced. I don't think God of War is being announced. Well, here's the deal. I want Sony to do like a big one. So back in June, they ended on Horizon, which was a massive, okay? Back in September, they ended on God of War Ragnarok or God of War, whatever the game is going to be called, which was a huge surprise. I didn't expect it because, again, I didn't think the game was going to come out in 2021. I think a lot of us are going to be right that thought that, but they ended on that. So they've ended on some really massive stuff. Do they do it again and again? Which one, or how do they choose what that final game, and this is just assuming, it's just assuming that it's the final game, what do they choose that game to be? Some people say Silent Hill. I think that's a really possible one. That's a pretty solid one. Although, again, we keep hearing the announcements in the summer, so that may take a lot of stuff out of it. Something like The Last of Us Part 2 Factions or The Last of Us Part 2 Multiplayer. That one, I think one person mentioned, I don't even remember who it was, but that person could be a genius. I honestly feel like that's a possibility. Again, it depends. I think what you'll see based off of the State of Play, and again, this is all where expectations come in, the first 9 or 8 or 9 games that they're shown, I think are really going to set the level of what we can expect for the finale. If we're really getting, say I'm wrong, and say we get like 7 indie games, we get Returnal and then Ratchet and Clank. Okay, and those are the 9, okay? I don't think the 10th one, the biggest one, I don't, even if there is like the big one, I don't think it's going to be like Uncharted 5 or, something, or Spider-Man 2. You know what I mean? That level is very big in contrast to all the stuff they've already shown. So I think that's where The Last of Us, I think that's where Silent Hill, I think that's where, people can joke about like Knack 3, obviously that would be kind of a funny one too, right? So there are definitely possibilities there, but I personally would not get pumped up for Spider-Man. I would not get pumped up for God of War. I would not get pumped up for an Uncharted. I would not get pumped up for Hogwarts Legacy or Gotham Knights. So, this was a little bit more of a direct kind of predictions video. I gave you guys some stuff that I think will be there, told you some things I don't think will be there, and gave you guys some possibilities. I'm very excited. I think this State of Play is going to be for a group of people. And I've talked about that before. I think not all of these games are going to maybe satisfy you, whoever, like you, the person listening to this right now, right? It may not satisfy you, all 10, but maybe 2 do, maybe 3, and then maybe a couple others do it to somebody else. And that's kind of, I think, the point of a State of Play like this. Either way, I'm insanely excited. I will be watching it, again, obviously, right after, like literally 20 to 30 minutes after the event's over. I hope to have a video up on something about it, and then, we'll cover it tomorrow on this channel. We'll cover it tomorrow on the second channel. So, again, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you guys have the bell icon turned on so you know when all these videos go up. Again, if you want to subscribe to the second channel, follow me in all the different places. All of my other stuff. I'm on Twitch, I'm on Twitter, I'm on all that stuff. Make sure you guys check the description below because all the stuff is there, okay? Thank you for watching. Everybody remain calm, okay? Let's not get too crazy, all right? And I hope to see you guys for the next video.